Hey, and welcome to another episode of This Expat Life. Today I'm back in a digital studio with a guest, and a super fun guest, Claudia Arroyo, also known as Latina in the Netherlands on Instagram. And that's exactly how I met her. I think I started following her about a year ago or so, when I stumbled upon one of her really funny videos, and I saw the rest of her videos and decided to follow her. Claudia is Peruvian, but she's been living in the Netherlands for a long time now, living together with her Dutch husband and their daughter. And while she has a 9-to-5 job, she's also an Instagram star. She has over 100,000 followers who all love her videos about living in the Netherlands as a foreigner. What I like about Claudia is that she has so much creativity to point out some really typically Dutch things, always with a lot of humor. And she's not pointing out only the negative things, she's also pointing out the good things. And with her Instagram account, she's also been a super helpful source for other Latinos and Latinas who are living in the Netherlands or thinking about moving to the Netherlands, and who may find it a little bit difficult to adapt here. I really enjoyed interviewing Claudia, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the interview too. She shares about how she finds living in the Netherlands, how she arrived here, the differences between Peru or Latin America in general and the Netherlands, which I also recognize because I lived in Latin America myself, and much more. And she also shares tips for others who are perhaps struggling here a little bit. And before I leave you to the interview, I just wanted to quickly let you know that in exactly 1 week, I am dropping a fantastic early bird offer for Expat Life School to those on the VIP standby list. Expat Life School is my signature program, and in 4 months, I'll help you create a thriving life abroad, no matter where you are. Expat Life School normally costs €499, but as I said, I have an amazing early bird offer for those on the VIP standby list, with the highest discount I'll give and bonuses worth over €500. But there are limited spots for this offer, so if you want to have the chance to get the offer, make sure that you are on the VIP standby list. I'll include the link in the show notes. Okay, here's the interview with Claudia, and let me know what you thought of it. Enjoy! Hey, Claudia, welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Good
Thank
morning.
you.
Where are you calling in
Nice to see you
from?
finally.
Yes.
Sorry?
Where are you calling in from?
I'm from the north of Holland. Somewhere.
Ah, you're sitting
That's
outside
where I
in the
live.
sun?
Yes, yeah. At the moment in the shadow because I didn't want to disturb, the screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this time of the day it's a little bit cooler to sit outside
Yeah.
than inside. It's
For
nice.
those,
Yeah.
yeah. For those who are listening to the podcast or watching the video on YouTube, we are in September, but we have like a tropical week in the Netherlands after 2 months of rain. So we are
Yes.
all really happy that we're finally able to go outside and enjoy a bit of summer. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see that you're also welcoming this tropical vibe in your garden today.
Yeah, I always run outside for the sun, just like the Dutch people.
Yes. Yeah, speaking of which, I mean, you are from Peru, but you've lived in the Netherlands for a longer time now. So can you
Yeah,
share a little bit about your journey, how you got here, and how you
yeah, of
find life
course.
in the Netherlands?
Yes, it's gonna be, I think, about 18 years. Oh my God.
Oh my
This
God.
November, I arrived here in 2005, in November. I'm originally from Peru, from the north of Peru, in the coast. So I'm also very used to the warm weather, nice food, beach, and
Yes.
the nicest part of Peru. Of course, you have many regions,
Mm-hmm.
and Peru is huge. Um, but I came as an au pair actually to
Mm-hmm.
work for 1 year. And they, I think the house was somewhere close to Utrecht. Bossendown is a place,
Oh yeah, I
and
know.
that's actually how I came. I was 23 years old, and my mom somehow decided I had to move abroad. It wasn't really my decision, uh, but actually she had a great idea to find this au pair program that actually helps you, going abroad and learn from the culture. You are with a kind of host family or host parents, where you can at the same time work as a nanny, taking
Yes.
care of their kids, which I think for young people, of my generation was a great opportunity to go outside and look some other horizons, after your year as an au pair, you could be able to look for a career outside or just decide where to go next or go back to Peru. But that's actually how I came, and it was a great experience. I loved it.
Nice. It's so interesting. I actually also had au pairs when I was younger, so I know it from the
Yeah.
other side.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's
And
nice. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and so you decided to stay.
I decided to stay. Yeah. Well, one of the reasons as well I came to Europe is because my older sister, who is my twin soul, she emigrated also to Spain since, years before me. So I kind of follow her steps.
Yeah.
Um, but the only options to come as an au pair was Netherlands, Germany, and United States.
Oh yeah.
So I chose Netherlands
Yeah.
because, well, I don't know, I saw some pictures of bicycles that kind of, oh, how nice. There wasn't so much information, actually. Actually, I thought I started studying German,
Ah.
thinking, thinking, Deutsch was the same as Dutch because I also didn't speak English by then so well. So I
Mhm.
actually didn't know that was actually the language from the Netherlands. It was so funny actually when I realized, oh, wait a minute, this is another language. I have to learn something else.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the reasons why. But I figure if I go to the Netherlands, it will be easier for me maybe to go to Spain and visit my sister and be
Mm.
closer to her. So that is why actually how my mom thought, okay, let's take this program. And I met the family on the phone. We clicked. They
Mhm.
were awesome. They are awesome. Actually, I still have some contact with them, and the
Oh,
kids are
nice.
already 19 years old. Can you
Yeah.
imagine how quick the time went? Yeah.
Yeah. And so did you ever imagine yourself still living in the Netherlands now, also with the Dutch husband and the kids?
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Not at all. My plan was really to go to some country where I could speak Spanish, so
Mhm.
Spain,
Yeah.
um, or go back to Peru. But I didn't came with a plan. I just came, I was 23. Come on, I was
Yeah.
very, very young. I just took my backpack and I say, "Bye, mom.
Yeah.
I'll see. What this country brings me." And I came really naive. I
Mhm.
don't know if that's the word in English,
It is.
but
Yeah.
without expectations at all. I was not very I was not being very mature. I think
Mhm.
I grew up really a lot here, and when I came, everything wowed me. Wow, the buildings, wow, the cold. I don't know, everything what I saw impressed me a lot. And with a year, I thought, okay, the first I did was book a ticket to Madrid to go and see my
Mhm.
sister.
Yeah.
That was my first goal. And after that, well, I traveled a little in Europe. I went to Paris, to some different cities that I always wanted to see. Um, and within that year, I met my husband. Actually,
Ah.
that
Yeah.
is how I stayed. It's very classic. It's very
Yeah.
classic,
It's a very classical story.
It's very
Yeah.
classic thing. Um, well, after the year of au pair, we moved in together, etc. We had a relationship before. Um, yeah, I liked him, he liked me, and he actually asked me, do you want to go back to Peru? Do you want to go somewhere else? Because it's not really my plan. So we talked about it, and I said, well, I really don't know. Let's try it. Let's just stay here. But if I later want to go to Spain, we have to also, put things on a balance and say, well, I also want to go to my family. And at the end, I stay here, stuck.
Yeah. So what I like about you, and it's also the reason why I've invited you to the podcast, is that you are really big on Instagram. You have over 100,000 followers, and you make so many super funny reels and videos about life in the Netherlands. And I actually didn't know that you were living here already for 18 years. And now
Yes.
I'm even more impressed because you still have that very curious eye about what life is like as a Latina.
Yeah.
And you still point out things that are so normal for me, and probably normal for you also because you've been living here for so long, but you still have that very curious eye to show, okay, people, this is what life in the Netherlands really is about. Can you
Yeah.
maybe share a little bit how you got started making those videos on Instagram?
Well, let's see. I've always been crazy about social media. Always before Instagram started being so famous. Like
Mm-hmm.
Instagram always been there, but not so much as TikTok.
Yeah.
And TikTok always been there before, Corona time, when many people had a lot of free time. But I've always been in Facebook before. You remember Hives?
Yes.
Remember high
Yeah.
five, and
Yeah.
the Hives was
Yes,
in
I
Netherlands.
remember. Yeah.
All of them, Messenger. I was everywhere.
Yeah.
Putting photos, pictures. Not so many reels because they didn't exist
No.
at that time. But I've always been posting things, especially on Facebook because the family was there, and my friends. Those
Yeah.
were the first contacts. And then I discovered TikTok. And I said, wow, cool. And I started doing some comic things. Um, and then one day I did something about the how strange was that the stores were closed at 5 or 6 p.m. in
Yeah.
some of the cities.
Yeah.
And that video went viral.
Ah.
So, and that's how I realized, oh, wait, I can do more of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I started posting things and things and things. And on TikTok went pop, 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 pop,
Yeah.
very quick, with the followers. So um I switched to Instagram, and
Yeah.
I started posting exactly the same videos on Instagram, and that's how I got my community
Yeah.
of expats. I even had another name. I wasn't Latina in the Netherlands, but it was something about travel, family,
Oh
and
yeah.
food, because that's also something of my interest.
Yeah.
Going to different places with my daughter, with my husband, and explore things
Yeah.
together, and the food.
Yeah.
I also
Nice.
like to rate some restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really nice. And I can imagine you're following. I read some of the comments sometimes, and I think most of them are like they recognize so much in your videos. And I think that helps them to feel, okay, I'm not alone finding this curious or finding it hard to deal with those kind of things. Um,
Yeah.
and you also bring it with a very light aspect, it's not always bad at everything that happens here. It doesn't always have to be hard. You can also laugh about it.
Of course, of course. Yeah, I think that's the way we have to see it. It's a culture shock, to come to
Yeah.
a totally different country than what you are used to. But it's
Mm-hmm.
just about, mindset, and look at the huge possibilities living in another country can give you. So yeah, I put a lot of comic on
Yeah.
the weird,
Yeah.
things of Dutch people, um, which is actually very funny for the foreigners and for expats that live here, because they identify with
Yes.
my videos, and that's very very curious, to see. Oh wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know your husband was also like this. It's
Yeah.
a stereotype.
It is.
We cannot deny it, and
Yeah.
yes, I generalize a lot. I sometimes say, come on, guys, we know not everyone is like
Yeah.
that. There are many Dutch people that love and are very open, to try new things, that love to be with foreign people, etc. And others are not, that are very reserved, and they
Mm-hmm.
like, just to try their own food. They don't like to try strange things, like my husband was before. So I take actually every example from him, because I see him like a real Dutch
Yeah.
person. He
Yeah.
loves cheese. He cannot live without it. I I I just need to put him the wooden clocks, and he is a real Dutch.
Yeah.
With the
But
time, you know, you get in a relationship with someone who's different than you, who you are, and then you change a little bit. You
yeah, of course.
adapt to each other. It's
Yes.
not like I always say, I train him to be like me. No, we adapt to each other. We
Yes.
understand now to each other. And when he goes to Peru, now he's like, oh well, let's just go with the flow. But at
Yeah.
the beginning, it was also a shock for him to see
Mhm.
how relaxed we are there,
Yeah.
more easy with the time, taking time, and everything is slow. And he was
Yeah.
just getting crazy. But I told him it's like this,
Yeah.
the same way I'm trying to adapt in the Netherlands is it's the same when you come here. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
And I have to say, as a Dutch person, I also recognize a lot in your videos because I lived in Latin America for over 5 years. So I
Oh
feel
wow,
both
I didn't know
cultures.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in Argentina, Ecuador, and Brazil.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
beautiful. Oh, that's
So
why.
yeah,
That's
that's
why
why
you like.
I recognize both sides, and I also really relate to like the things that you find curious about the Dutch. Most of them I'm
Yeah,
also like, oh yeah, that annoys me as well, or I find it really
yeah,
funny.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So maybe speaking about some of the cultural differences with Peru and the Netherlands. I know you mentioned food already, that food is really important for you. And I know in Latin America, people love to connect over, well, Latin Americans love food, and the Peruvian kitchen is also known in the world for its amazing cuisine.
yeah.
And
Rich.
yeah, very rich. And
Yeah.
people love to connect also over food, with others. Here in the Netherlands, we don't have a really strong food tradition. So how how did you find it like getting here? Well, it's been a while now, but like connecting over
Yeah,
people when that food tradition isn't really present.
yeah, exactly. Well, I have to say I've been lucky. I've been lucky because my father-in-law has an Indonesian background. So always when we went to have dinner at their place, or they came here, he loves to cook. He loves to cook lots and lots. And he was always very worried about people not having enough food. So it's a very similar culture. Um, on that side of my family-in-law, I've never been worried about food. And once I also made a video at their house. Uh, you know, I remember it was something about Corona that I tried something and I'm like, I don't taste it. But wait a minute, it's Corona time, and that video and that video also went viral. Um, but uh, but it was just a joke because he cooks delicious,
Yeah.
and he's always the one that cooks. Um, Also, when I was an au pair, the family I lived with were very international.
Mm,
Uh, and I remember she always brought, products from France, from Italy. There was always pasta. There was always salads. Nothing like a stamppot. Nothing. Of course, I
yeah.
tried sometimes for the first thing. I said, "Oh, nice." I'm
Yeah.
always been very open to try any food.
Yeah.
I saw the differences, yes, but I'll say exactly your question. Yes, I missed the sobremesa.
Oh
As you
yeah.
say that, la
Dessert.
sobremesa, natafla.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
That when you finish eating, my mother-in-law even thought that the food was delicious. She will say, "Okay, now, Claire,"
Yeah.
and she will just pick up the plates and go to the kitchen and pa, and
Yeah.
ready. Are you going? I am the house, and that's of course I respected that, but that's something I missed, from the long
Yeah.
dinners,
Yeah.
afterwards, having a small chupito and just drinking
Yeah.
something afterwards, and then you stay at the table like 2 hours later, just catching up on things and talking with the family.
Yeah.
That's something I miss, and that's the connecting with food, with people.
Yes.
And
Yes.
here is just more practical because you
Mhm.
just have to go because there are things to do.
Yeah.
And well, in the Latin American culture is more relaxed, and you just looks like you have lots of time to do those things. But you learn from both, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's funny because the natafelen, as you say, like the long sitting at the dinner, is actually something that I miss when I lived in Brazil. So I thought it wasn't there. And I have this tradition with my friends, with my family, that we always have long dinners. Maybe not
Yeah.
as long as in Argentina, like some countries in Latin America, but I definitely miss that actually in Brazil. I find that really interesting.
Okay.
Like there, they serve the food, the entrance
Oh,
course, and then right away the main course, and I'm like, give me some time to enjoy my meal and to relax here and not just to come here for food. So it was a bit different there.
Okay, well, that's interesting to know. I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah. So another thing that I, a difference that I noticed, and I was talking to Coco, who's one of my friends. She actually lives in Peru. She's Dutch, but she lives in Peru. And we were talking about that I was going to interview you, and she mentioned something that she once heard about that, like a comparison, like the Latin people, generalizing, of course, Latinos,
Yeah.
they are more like a peach. They're very soft on the outside. They're very welcoming, very kind, very like easy to talk to. But then they have a very strong pit in the core that is hard to break. So it's really hard to get really in the inner circle or in them. I don't know, like really, really close to them. And then the Dutch people, and I guess a few other cultures, are more like coconuts. So they have a very hard, what's the word? A cover? No, the thing around the coconut water. I forgot the
Yeah. Yeah.
So that one is very hard to break. But once you're in, it's like right away you're in the inner circle and it becomes much easier. And I definitely struggled with the coconuts returning to the Netherlands. Even when I needed friends as a Dutch person, it was very hard for me to break in. The Dutch are they make their friends in their teens and 20s, and then they're done making friends for the rest of their life. So they're very hard to first get
totally understandable. Totally understandable. Why would you make new friends, especially from other countries? I mean, that's why expats find it so difficult to make friends here, because we come and we have to start from zero.
Yeah.
With a society that is already grown up and already, formed.
Yeah.
Like you said, they made their friends from their youth, from their school, from their group, and I would say, I don't need more friends. Why would you need 10 friends?
Yeah.
20 friends.
Well, I know,
yes, I
like doing the opposite, going as a Dutch person to Latin America, it was much easier for me to make friends, even though that society is also closed in a way.
Yeah.
But Latinos are more welcoming to having new people in their life at the outside, whereas the Dutch,
that's true.
You know how it is. And I'm really curious also to hear your experience with it. Like Dutch people aren't the easiest one to make contact with on the street or when you just meet them. So I'm also really curious, you as a Latina who is probably more like a peach, how did you find dealing with the Dutch coconuts with the hard outside?
Yeah, it was kind of difficult. I think especially at work. When it is the place when you start making relationships with people, people I knew, because we started going out and they were all really, really nice. Language is difficult, absolutely. When you don't speak their language, then it's kind of difficult to enter that heart, coconut cover, let's say, because even though you speak very good English, at the end of the day, they won't speak English to you the entire day, because they also want to speak to their Dutch friends.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit difficult for me. Never blame them, but yes, it was difficult to make friends this way on my own, because those were the friends of my husband who turned out to be my friends, because I was, the partner and wife later, and I love them all. But then when I wanted to make friends on my own at work, it was it wasn't pretty easy,
Yeah.
It's not like I went to work and I say, okay, I come to make friends. No, I went to work.
Yeah.
But sometimes, it has to stay nice.
Of course.
But especially women, women are more difficult than men. Men were a little bit more, you could approach them easier, because men are men, they are easier, they are more relaxed, and women, we looked more, we judge more, no matter the nationality.
Yeah.
We are like this,
Yeah.
And I found really some very difficult Dutch people in my life, in my work life, that I always try to avoid. but sometimes it really just, touch my nerves. Uh, but I don't know. It's like as a foreign, as a foreign, will always be a little bit out of the group if you are with Dutch people. So for me, it was very important to learn the language. On my first job, I only spoke English, and yes, I noticed some groupies. This Dutch girl got along very well with another Dutch girl. There was my boss who was always alone or with somebody else, and then it was me, who probably when another foreign came, then I will speak to this person, and then we will be both of us together. And that's something, it has to be avoided by speaking the language and by trying with your Dutch colleagues. And yes, it was a little bit more difficult, but at that time also, I think I made two friends on my own, and the two girls were Dutch, and we got along very well. So no, it's not impossible. I think it depends a lot from it. It depends a lot of where do they come from. Coincidentally, they were from Brabant.
Oh yeah,
both. From the south of Holland,
which is a bit more
so
social,
warmer than the people. Yeah, exactly. We were also very young. I'm talking about before I had a daughter, and we went partying, etc. And it was very nice because the south of Holland people like to party a lot. So, I know. So that's why I think well with them. They were also younger than me, I remember. But yes, I was very proud to say, I made two friends on my own. And they are Dutch. But sometimes it was difficult to get into getting to know that person. That's true. But once you know them, you realize they are very, very, very warm people, sympathetic, and they are very direct, which is something also people from Latin America can learn. What you say, about Latin American people, that we are very soft the first time you meet us, and afterwards maybe it's not, it's because we are not very direct. And when we find something difficult, and I put also myself in that bag because I did it before, we won't tell you. And we will keep on smiling to you while probably there is a problem or there is something we don't like, and we won't tell you either because we don't dare to say, or because we don't want to hurt your feelings. But at the end of the day, that's bad, because then we are not being honest to you. That's something I don't like about Latin American people. It's all drama, it's all problems, and nobody talks about it. It's very hypocrite. And that's something the Dutch is not. The Dutch is practical. You have a problem with something, you tell it, you don't like it, pech. And then they go on with their lives, and they don't care about hurting your feelings. But sometimes it's better that way. And that's how I also changed.
Exactly.
Sometimes my sisters starting all crying, and I'm like, a ver, chicas, what happened? Let's go to the facts. This and this happened. This is a problem. This way we have to solve it. And they are like, wow, Claudia, who's this? And I'm like, this is me living in Holland for 18 years. Come on, stop with the drama.
And so do they accept that from you? Do they also see like, okay, you've got an interesting point of view now?
They accepted it, but they can sometimes think that I'm cold.
Oh.
That I'm cold or detached from the feelings, And I'm the one who's always, I'm very close to my family, but I'm the one who's always sometimes not calling, sometimes not on the video call, and they're like, "Come on, Claudia, get in touch sometime," And I don't know, I'm not I'm not that good at calling always, like the gossips, this and that. But my sisters love it. But I know it's important. My mom is always telling me, "Call me, tell me what you're doing." They don't never know what I'm doing, and where I am, and
So I mean, that is part of like expat immigrant life, like otherwise you're living two social lives all the time. It's too much to do it.
That's also different. My sister, who emigrated to Spain years ago, she's now in the United States. So we all emigrated, you know.
Yeah.
She lives in the United States, and she lives, unlike me, a lot with Peru still.
Uh-huh.
But United States, you know, is full of Hispanic people as well, and here not very much. So a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Colombians, a lot of Peruvian people. She goes very often to Peru because it's also cheaper from the United States than from Europe.
Yeah.
And yes, she's still living two lives, but
Yeah.
also because her husband is Peruvian. So the
Ah,
picture
yeah.
changes totally.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
go from Lima to Nashville like I'm going here to Amsterdam, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's very funny. And I'm like, what? What do you still have to do in Peru? In Peru? Yeah, I have to go to a doctor, I have to go to a dentist.
Ah, yeah.
It's completely different, you know?
Yeah.
Why? Because in the United States, it's just impossible to get um, insurance that is
Yeah.
good for you because it's so expensive. It really depends on your income, etc. You know,
Yeah.
it's not as easier and good arranged here in the Netherlands. So that's sometimes also the difference.
Yeah.
I Peru for me is just my family, food, and visit.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else there
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. I have
Yeah.
a house. I have a house. Okay, we still have a little house, my sister and I, and we always go there when we arrived in
That's
Peru.
nice. So that's nice. You
Yeah.
still have something communal to come back to share that
Yeah,
family life.
yeah. Well, my
Yeah.
father is also, it's always there, of course.
So another thing that I'm also really curious about, like you're very expressive on Instagram with your reels and everything. And I know Latinos, like you said, there's the drama, but there's a lot of expression of emotions. And the Dutch, they're more like, I saw
Yeah.
a really funny video of you that you were portraying your husband, like everything that you say, he's just like, oh, oh, oh.
Oh
So
no,
there is not a lot of expression, or yeah, definitely less
no.
in the Netherlands than in Peru, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm also curious, like, how do you feel you can be your true self here, your true expressive self?
uh, mm, I miss it sometimes. I miss it sometimes. But for this, you know, I have my friends, I have my family. If I have, you know, someone to tell a chisme, a juicy gossip chisme,
Yeah.
then I mean, I'll tell my husband, and he goes like, exactly. Oh, look. Oh my God, let's put some chili on this conversation. So, and then I'm like, I'm not okay. Yeah, you don't care. Maybe it's a girl thing, you know, women thing. So then I'll go and see my friends, and then I use, you know, my expressive um, way to be, and also with my sister and my mom. I think when we always have a good contact, and we can always laugh a lot, you know, when I talk to them, even though we are far away. Um, I can be myself, absolutely. But then sometimes, well, I think, okay, it's just it's just different. It just hits different to tell a joke in
Yeah.
Dutch that I know maybe it's different in Spanish,
Yeah.
or because, you know, and I always think on Sofia Vergara when
Yeah.
I say something in Dutch, but it really doesn't sound funny. So
No.
I really have to say it in Spanish, and then I go and I talk to other people, and then it's fine. Then it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. And another thing, in Latin America, I personally always felt super welcome. I felt part of society there. I felt really welcomed in by Ecuadorians, Argentinians, Brazilians. I have a family in Ecuador that they really consider me as their like big Dutch daughter. They're still like taking me in all the time,
nice.
visit them every couple of years. And there's a much stronger sense of community in Latin America than here in the Netherlands, where we have a very
Yeah.
individualistic society. How is that for you? Like, how do you deal with that even after 18 years? Do you miss the community sense sometimes?
Um, well, not really. I think it depends a lot on yourself and how you integrate in some social, you know, networks, even though is for work or is for friends and family. Um, I'm a very social person, very open and very independent as well. So um, I feel that I don't need a lot of people around me to feel good. I enjoy a lot of doing things on my own. I
Yeah.
enjoy my own company. So that's also something I always tell to expats in Latin people who feel alone
Yeah.
being here because they cannot find friends to do this and that, or to go and see the country. And I always say, just do it by yourself and
Yeah.
enjoy being with you. If you're not good with yourself, then you aren't gonna never be able to find the friends you're looking for. And stop blaming yourself because you have to start from zero. It's difficult, yes, it's difficult to find friends. But I mean, you see me, on the socials, but I actually have only 3 friends. Yes, you see me with a lot of people, uh, because I do, the socials, and I have is kind of also my job, which I enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
Meeting with a lot of people, and many of them have become my really lovely persons I love to have in my life. But do I need them all as friends?
Yeah.
Not really. Not
Yeah.
really. I have 3 good friends, and I think one in Peru.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
The friend who's always from school, and will always be there, even though I don't see her in 10 years. Um, so, well, no, it's never been so difficult to me to really find a community. I think for me it was more important, like, have a good contact with my family, have a few friends. I still keep since my au pair
Yeah.
period of time. I have one good friend that also stayed in the Netherlands, and it's very funny because we remember those years, when we were like 24, and now we both have kids.
Yeah.
We live nearby because she lives in Baden.
Oh, nice.
So it's my dear friend, and I think the friends that I've been making because of the social media, that's something else, not everyone can have,
Yeah.
because not everyone works on social media like I do. So if you don't, just go, be out there. There are thousands of groups on
Yeah.
Facebook, on the Latin experience. Don't forget
Yes.
to make friends that somehow feel lonely when they live here. And everything takes time, and you just have to also do something for yourself to go outside and don't stay at home.
Yes, I like this advice because on the one hand, you're saying, okay, like accept that this is a longer process. You have to start from zero. You cannot expect that, you have the same group of friends as you had at home. But on the other side, you're also, you're also saying, like, get in action, do something. Like, don't sit at home and wait for them to come to you. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And maybe about the Latin experience, because like I said, I think your social media is a really good way for expats and immigrants and whoever else is here to feel less alone, to feel connected with you. It's a great way for you to connect to your followers as well. And you're also organizing events, right? So can you maybe share a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. The Latin Experience is a group of, we are 7 guys, 7 immigrants or slash expats, There is a difference between those 2 terms,
There is, yeah.
I think immigrant is someone who came to stay.
Yes.
To stay here from another country, looking for a better future, etc. And in expat is, I think, so only yourself, of course. That is
Temporary.
always, like hopping everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's not something we are doing. So we are immigrants that got together to organize different events for all expats that love the Latin community and culture.
Yes.
So you don't need to be Mexican or Latino, but you can also be Dutch person. You can also be an American who somehow relates to the
Yeah.
Latin community because you lived there, because maybe you have a husband or a girlfriend, etc. Um, our events are either parties, um, also conferences, like the one we had. I think it was this year in April in Boom, Chicago. It was very, very nice. Yeah, I think I told you about it.
Yeah.
Barbecues, dinners, and parties, like theme parties. Like this time we have the Mexican party on 5th December. Um, Everything started, I think, last year with a Halloween event
I remember.
where,
Yeah, I saw
yeah,
that.
exactly, that was booming. I think because the founder of this organization is W, which is another good friend of mine, and
Mm-hmm.
he's um, he's a YouTuber, actually very present on YouTube and also on Instagram, but he focused more on his on YouTube, showing also things about the Netherlands. So we met, and because we were both, doing things for the community and meet and greets, small things. So we thought, hey, I want to do something for Halloween, and I said, hey, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do
Yeah.
it. So we got together, and it was really fun. It was very, very nice. There were like 700 people,
Wow.
and from this event is that he came up with the idea. Let's do a whole organization called the Latin Experience,
Yeah.
and we called some friends, to that also want to be, content creators and grow in the community, etc. Everyone has their own qualities, and I love that. Different nationalities as well: Mexican, Peruvian, Venezuela, etc.
Yeah.
And we grew a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah,
really like for everyone who's watching or listening to the show, like it
yeah,
started as something so small, like meet and greets,
yeah,
and hey, I want to do something for Halloween, let's do it. And now you have parties with
yeah,
700 people. And so
yeah.
anyone who lives abroad and feels like, hey, I miss something, I want to enjoy a party or I want to celebrate something, but I don't find it here in the country, you can organize it yourself. I think this is a wonderful
Exactly.
example.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I think we are more expats and immigrants than you think. I
yeah.
was really, really impressed of seeing how many people actually needs this, how many
Yes.
people found friends on
Yes.
our events, and they say, oh, I made two friends, on the, I don't know, one event, so I'm going with them again. And
Yeah.
that's very, very nice. Yes.
That's very nice. Good to hear. Okay,
Yeah.
Claudia, I can talk to you for much longer, I think, because I really enjoy hearing how you find life in the Netherlands as a Peruvian, but we need to wrap this up. I always ask my guests for an answer
Yeah.
to one question, and that is, what is your number one hack to make living or traveling abroad easier or more fun?
A hack.
So it can be a
Well,
mindset thing,
I
a
think I have.
skill,
Yeah,
product.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, mindset. Mindset. I'll say, be proud of your roots. Don't
Mm,
forget where you come from. Never be ashamed of your accent. Uh, Learn English.
or Dutch.
Learn English. That's very important. That's something to start with.
Yeah.
And even though you don't speak it beautifully,
Hmm.
just always learn to express your thoughts correctly, the way you want to tell them, even though you have this beautiful accent, of a
Yeah.
Latin American.
Yeah.
um, um, and, and I think the first thing you have to do when you come is look for a place where you can buy your ingredients to cook
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
Just find a place.
Yeah.
It can be internet, it can be, a physical store somewhere. Contact me, I'll give you the hacks where to buy them, and you will
Nice.
be happy. That
Yeah.
you're not obligated here to eat your cheese sandwich. You can do whatever you want. There are many ingredients that are not everywhere, like in
Yeah.
Spain. In Madrid you find these stores in
Yeah.
every corner. It's
Yeah.
Peru. When you go there, it's Latin
Yeah.
America, because
Yeah.
there are many many expatriados over there.
Yeah.
But here not so much. So you really have to find them. Yes.
Yes, it's true. I'm really lucky because there's an expat store right around the corner here in The Hague where there's lots of products, and I saw Latin stuff also. So I definitely need to take a look there
Is
and
that
buy some
wrong?
things.
Wrong. The name
No,
is wrong. Something.
no, it's some African name, I think. I forgot the
Oh,
exact
okay.
name. Yeah,
See?
but for anyone who's listening or watching, it's on the Frederik Hendrikstraat, the famous thread in The Hague. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Okay, Claudia, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
where can people find you if they want to follow you?
Well, on Instagram, my name is Latina underscore in underscore the underscore the Netherlands.
I'll
It's
add it to
very
the
easy
show
to find.
notes. Yeah.
If you just type Latina in the Netherlands, you'll find me. Yes.
Yes. Great. Yeah. And and everyone, like, if you want to follow Claudia, do it because she's really funny. If you're thinking about moving to the Netherlands, she will give you a really good image of what life in the Netherlands looks. So,
yes.
Yes. Thank you, Claudia. And I'm sure we will be in touch. And I hope to see you also at one of the Latin experience. I would love to join.
Thanks to you. Yes. Yeah, we missed you there.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Yeah, and that was the interview with Claudia, Latina in the Netherlands. I hope you enjoyed the interview as much as I did. And if you like this episode, it would really mean a lot if you could leave a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. It really helps me to grow this community. And then the last thing, don't forget about the early bird offer that is coming live in exactly 1 week on the 18th of September to those on the VIP standby list. Being on that list is absolutely free, no strings attached. You just leave your name and email address and you will receive the offer in your inbox. And that's it. You can decide if you want to take on that offer or not. There's nothing else behind it. Expat Life School is an online course with over 3 hours of video content, but in really nice short videos because I want to make learning about your expat life easy and fun. You can watch or listen to the videos on the app, on your laptop, while you're cleaning the house, while you're on the plane. It doesn't really matter. They're concise videos really helping you to go a little bit deeper and to think about what you want in your expat life. And in Expat Life School, I collected my most valuable lessons that had helped me to really create the life that I'm dreaming of. And these are coming from my personal experience as an expat in recent years, but also from my professional experience as a life coach for expats. So that means that in Expat Life School, we're not just gonna talk about expat life. There are also lots of exercises coming from my coaching experience that will really help you to go a little bit deeper on what it is that you want and why you're being held back by it now. I really believe that if you want to create your best life, no matter where you are, you need to work from the inside out. This, in my eyes, is the only way that it will last. And the beauty of it is that if you work from the inside out, it means it's all internal. So no matter where you go, you can always create that thriving life. Expat Life School also comes with 4 months of an online community where like-minded fellow expats are as well, who will understand you right away without you having to explain yourself first. You can share your wins, your struggles, your tips. The community is really for that kind of thing. And the best part is that it comes with 5 online group sessions. In these sessions, we will go deeper into the course topics. We will also do some extra exercises, and there is time for Q&A and hot seat coaching. All the previous participants loved the group sessions, and I know it's one of the best features of this program, and I am so looking forward to the next group sessions because I really upgraded them. Expat Life School starts on the 16th of October, so we still have a little bit, but remember I'm launching the early bird offer on the 18th of September already. So if you want to get that discount and the really cool bonuses, okay, I'm gonna tell already one which it is a bonus of an online masterclass that I will host at the end of the year to create your best year in 2024. I always love setting goals for the new year and to really reflect on how the previous year went and what I want for the next year and to come up with a plan to really make it happen. Every year, at the end of the year, I take a couple of days to be in a cabin by myself so I can really tune inwards and connect with my dreams and desires and what I want to do. And I have a whole way of how I do this, and I really want to share that with you. So I will host an online masterclass. I still have to decide the price, but it will be around €100. But if you join Expat Life School with the early bird offer, you will be able to join this masterclass for free. And there are more bonuses and also a discount. So this is really an offer that you don't want to miss out on. You can sign up through the link in the show notes. Okay, that's really it. I wish you a wonderful day wherever you are in this beautiful world. See you soon again.